Good evening, everyone, and welcome to what is Midwest F1 Homecoming Week as we head to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal for what is round 7 of the Division 2 campaign. I think I got that right. Round 7 is kind of hard to tell with the race break that we had with the game not working. But 14 corners make up the technical 4.3-kilometer circuit with 8 to the right and then 6 to the left. The track's 2 DRS zones should create some overtaking opportunities, but drivers will have to drive extra carefully in order to not pick up any penalties or unnecessary wing changes. So yeah, I think this is technically race 7 of the campaign, although we did have the fake Midwest F1 sprint that was supposed to happen but didn't happen. But anyways, we are here in Canada. This is very much Midwest F1 Homecoming Week, as a large portion of the league is Canadian. I know Crash McQueen is. I know a lot of people are. I think Knuckles is as well. I'm not, 4 hours away from it. However, not only did F2 race here this week, we have the F1 League racing here this week, and we have the Canadian GP happening this weekend as well. So yeah, all ties in really good, and it looks like we have a very beautiful day here in Montreal, which is not so reminiscent of what is happening in Montreal right now, as it's legitimately flash flooding in the pit lane in real life. This is, and flash flooding out on track, I believe. I was watching earlier. We are going to have an Alpine be the first one out. I believe it is Mayember? No, it's Dusty. Dusty Lusky, first out on track. Nicely kisses the apex there, although he's going to lose a little bit of time going through the grass like that. Front runner's gone P1 at the moment, 1:09.6. That is 1/10 even over Dusty. Hightower coming to the line shortly. Let's see what he's got, if anything. Oh, and that's not gone well at all. And yeah, DNF for Hightower, 1984. And I believe he was actually on a really good lap as well. And that's just so unfortunate what's happened to him. He's caught the curb on exit of turn 14 at the Wall of Champions, taking it way too heavily, caught wheel spin on exit, and could not save the car. That is very unfortunate for the man there, as his teammate Nicky64 winds past. Let's see what he puts in at the line, and he goes P6, 1:10.4. I'm sure he's capable of better. ADRT me, but I'm not rightly sure who this is. He's in the Alfa Romeo. He's put in a lap on the mediums. 1:10.1, not bad at all. He's certainly helping along this Alfa Romeo team. So we have a yellow flag up there. Ooh, who's that? Was that Clay? Something just happened to Clay just then. No, he's getting out the way. Next up comes the Haas behind him, Evade Altonian, also just kind of letting his way through here. Let's actually go along with this ADRT guy here. Hopefully he puts in a good lap. He's on the mediums. Currently 1 lap old medium tires. To the DRS he goes, finding his way towards turn 1 and 2. Let's see what he's got. 1:10, whatever that was. He's got a 1:10.1 to beat, which I think he can. A little bit slow on exit of the corner. He held the corner nicely, just didn't really get the traction on his way out. Through 3 and 4, not bad. Turn 6 and 7 now. Takes 6 a bit wider than I'd like to see personally. Takes 7 also a little bit shallow. Ends out of turn 7 really near the wall with the DRS now into 8 and 9. Heavy over the first curb, heavy over the second as well. He's held it together nicely. I'm not entirely sure this is going to beat his previous lap attempt, although purple sector 2 for him. I believe that's at 0.3 of a second he shaved off of it. Not bad at all. Out of turn 10, through 11 and 12 now. DRS has been activated. Down the straight he goes. 60% battery left. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the session as he heads through the Wall of Champions chicane. Holds it really nice here. I tell you what, this might have an opportunity for pole. And it goes third on the set of mediums, a 1:09.5. Hey, it's Clay, has started his timed lap now through 3 and 4. We're going to pick up with him. It doesn't look like ADR Meep has actually stuck with the medium tires here, although I think he probably should have stuck with him, to be honest. He's P4. He's on his out lap. I think that may have been kind of a mistake to go out, even if he gets pole. I mean, I don't know. I think the tire advantage would have been more helpful, even if you, at the sacrifice of starting P4. Don't know. I don't know. Hey, it's Clay still on his time lap. We have not that long to go in the session, as I believe that's an Alpine and ahead of him. Mayhem perhaps coming in. Yeah, he is. Up front, ADRT Meeb starting his timed lap now. Let's see what he's got on fresh softs. Behind him, more importantly, Hey, it's Clay. Currently third. He's gained a 10th in that final sector to the line. He stays P3, although he does have another timed lap attempt. So, does he choose to take it? I'm not sure. He was actually aware that he had another attempt to be had. ADRT Meeb, he's starting his final lap now, taking that chicane nicely. Currently dropped down to P5, but he's on the fresh tires. Can he improve? He's knocked off 2.5 tenths through Sector 1, what he's done so far. Into the DRS. This is looking a great lap. EDA forward, mind you, has actually gone P2 in the time we were away. Separating himself and Hey, it's Clay by less than 1/10 of a second, or maybe just over, rather. Just under a tenth of a second. Purple sector 2 there for ADRT Meeb. Through turns 11 and 12 now. DRS going to be wide open here. This looks to be a lap which could contend for pole if it holds out nicely. Coming into the final two corners, 13 and 14. Let's see how he does. Good exit of the corner. This one's going to contend for pole. To the line he goes. 8, and it is provisional pole for ADRT Meeb. And Hey, it's Clay beats it. 2/100ths of a second separating the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. What a lap. I tell you what, that's going to be one hell of a battle into turn number 1. These two drivers definitely gave it the beans just then. So at the end of the qualifying session, Hey, it's Clay on pole, ADRT Meeb in second, Dusty Lusky third, Forward fourth, Caden Petter fifth, Front Runner sixth, Helgelin seventh, eighth is Nicky 64, ninth Houdini, 10th Chief Braids, Swee is 11th, 12th is Mayomer, 13th Ray 46, 14th is Hightower, 15th being Adeltonian, 16th Capital 58, and then rounding out the field P17 is Jasty in the Red Bull, who did not complete a time. Well, it's very close margins on the front row. Let's see what happens in the race. As the grid lines up to their grid spots, ADRT Meeb probably has the advantage here. If he can get a good start, he'll have the advantage into turn 2. He's got Hey, it's Clay to his right. The lights. Are they turning on? Are they turning on? Nothing has happened. Okay. Can we make sure that the dude on the in the flag stand isn't goofing about? Where's the dude at the back with the flag? Has he perhaps tripped and fallen? I hope this isn't just a me problem. Oh, the lights are turning on now. Let's go. It's go time here in Montreal. And they're off. Now, who got the better start? It looks like Meeb to the inside got a good one. He's going to get around. Hey, it's Clay. Wheel spin there. Does he perhaps still have the inside into turn 1? It looks like Dusty Lusky contact being made there. The two Alpha Tauris are side by side. Dusty Lusky really had to get out wide in the groove. We got a Ferrari off towards the back. Hightower. Something's happened with him. Car in the wall. Was it potentially Nicky 64? I'm not sure. But meanwhile, Hey, it's Clay has the lead as the field circles through turn 6 and 7. Very confusing start to the race there, as it looks like on the way back, Chief Braids being overtaken by Helgelin here. Looks to be a good move there. Nicky 64 in hot pursuit as well. Down to the inside goes Nicky. That's going to be a tough one to be made as they head towards the chicane. How's it going to happen? And Nicky has the advantage as they go through it. Ooh, Chief Braids looking... I'm not sure what's wrong with Chief Braids, but he's not on the ball right now. He's going to get passed by Capital 58 as well. Down into the hairpin they go, and it looks like everybody getting out okay. But Hey, it's Clay has jumped out to an advantage here very early on. 0.8 of a second separate him and the back. It looks like a lot of shuffling about going on for the last 4 positions. EDA forward, up into third. Dusty Lusky to fourth. He had somewhat of a problem there on the start. He's down 1. Hey, it's Clay, 1:18.2. Fastest lap so far, Nicky 64 on his way in. Did he potentially make contact? Chief Braid's on his way in as well. So we'd have to assume that those were the two drivers, and Sween as well. We'd have to assume those were the two drivers that had the offs there at the beginning. Looks like Ray 46 trying to pressure Helgeland. No, and he spun around! Does he hold on to the car? And he does. Barely, I might add. However, the car is in, well, I'd say one piece. It's in more or less 5 or 6, but the car is runnable. It's just a front wing damage. And that puts Ray all the way back down to 14th. Frontrunner still trying to make his move on Dusty Lusky. Now, this is where Frontrunner was losing the ground before, was through Sector 2 and into Sector 3. Although it looks like Maymer's actually just gotten around Kittenpetter. Did Kittenpetter have somewhat of a mistake happen to him there? It's very possible, as that move was kind of made out of the blue, it seemed. And yeah, Kittenpetter's lost some wing on the front side. Right front wing has gone down for Kittenpetter, not what he needed whatsoever. The battle heating up now. Frontrunner still trying to get past Dusty Lusky here. DRS in the slipstream as well. Let's see if anything can happen. To the left side he goes. Oh, and Helgeland's gone off. Sorry to interrupt, but Helgeland has eaten the wall on the inside of the corner. Back along with the move, it does appear that Frontrunner's gotten around Dusty Lusky, but man, that was unfortunate there. Kittenpetter on his way in. But I'm just wondering what happened to Helgeland. Maybe caught oversteer on exit of turn number 7. Certainly possible. Not what you wanted to see for the McLaren. Speaking of McLaren, he's in some hot water here. He's got Mead behind him in the Alfa Romeo. Really starting to edge towards the back of the gearbox here is ADRT Mead. EDA Forward really just playing it patient here, trying to perform consistent laps instead of becoming too aggressive, which might actually end up being the route to take. A route I'm sure EDA Forward has taken many times this season, as he has won. He did win last round in Belgium. Belgium certainly a track where you want that sort of thing to happen. All of the top 3 within that 1 second of each other. Hey, it's Clay is up to a severe disadvantage without DRS. He's got 2 unbelievably quick drivers behind him as we head to the 6th lap of the Grand Prix. Behind him, it looks like Dusty Lusky under pressuring Frontrunner here. No move to be made just yet as the top 3 go through turns 1 and 2. Nothing to be had just yet, but who's going to make the first crucial mistake? I'm not sure what happened to ADRT at the start. He definitely had a great start and then suddenly had oversteer. Maybe did he get into grass? This was off the starting grid. I thought he was really going to overtake Hayes Clay into the first corner. Didn't end up that way. However, he's hung in there quite nicely. Why does the game insist on giving me terrible camera angles? I don't know. It's just so poor. Looks like, oh, that's Frontrunner going off. Frontrunner's gone around. Oh, don't go. Okay, thankfully there's no traffic there at the moment. However, it goes from bad to worse for the Alpha Tauri team, as I'm not sure what's happened to Frontrunner. I think he's caught oversteer on exit of turn 8 or 9. Probably on exit of turn 9. Houdini's going to be looking to get past him here. Everyone else behind them, minus Houdini and Adaltonian, on the mediums. Remember, there was about 4 drivers that started on the mediums, that being Mayhem or Capital 58, JST, and Hightower. Everybody else has come in for a pit stop up in behind, and at one point or another fixed, put on those medium compound. Swee picking up a time penalty for multiple warnings here. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead within 0.2 of a second. It's going to be side by side as they head towards turn 13 and 14, and ADRT Mead finally gets the overtake on Hayes Clay. And he did it well. And I tell you what, that is not going to be an easy lead to get back. That part is for sure. This guy has been absolutely flying. Into turn 10 they go. Oh, I tell you what, Mead, I don't think got the best exit there. Maybe he did. He's actually come away a lot better than I thought he would. That gap outside of a second now back within a second. Yeah, look at Mead. He's really drained his battery here. Clay still on about 30% as Mead comes in and Clay covers off the overcut, or the undercut rather. EDA Forward stays out. Now, what happens in the pits? Do they fit the hards and go the whole way? No, Clay fits the mediums, and so does Mead. Both drivers fitting the mediums. Do they think they can stretch them this long, or is it perhaps going to be a two-stopper? Forward, trying to play the long game here, stays out another lap on the softs. Houdini gets by as well. Is Houdini going to be on the going to be staying out as well? Round the outside goes. Wow, what a move that was! Both Meeb and Clay were able to go round the outside of Houdini, exiting turn 2. I'm not sure how they made that happen, but they did. That moves Dusty to second, forward to first, Maymer to third. Dusty as well. Maymer is on fresher mediums anyways, 9 laps old. Chief Braids, 3 seconds for multiple warnings. However, this battle for what will eventually be the first spot, I think, very close together still. These guys are putting on one heck of a show here. As now, can Clay get the overtake into turn 1? He might just be able to do it. Side by side they go. Heavy over the curb goes Clay, and he does eventually make the overtake happen. Very nicely done from the McLaren driver. JST just got around Capital 58. That looked a good one there. Unfortunate I wasn't able to catch along with it. However, this battle between these two have been just unbelievable so far. We're only 11 laps into the Grand Prix. As Mead now sets the fastest lap, 1:12.1. That, I believe, has done in Clay's by at least a 10th. As Houdini now comes in. EDA forward. Where is he going to come out? It looks like P5 in front of the Red Bull of JST, in front of the Mercedes of Capital 58. Dusty Lusky continues to have the top spot for now. I think Clay had a bit of a mistake there on exit of 7. This is going to be a chance here for Meeb. Does he have it round the left? Clay blocks off the move nicely. Clay gets wide on exit of 8. That's 9 rather. Will it potentially a move be made down into turn 10? Doesn't quite look like it will. Through the corner now. Clay getting really wide on exit at 10. That is hindering his progress here as Meeb is going to have DRS. Dusty Lusky being overtaken by his teammate of Maymer. Side by side now between these two. Meeb does get around him. Dusty Lusky comes in. It doesn't look like he has, although he's lost about another 4/10 to the back of the Alfa Romeo. Looks like Kittenpetter just got around Capital 58. Capital 58 also under pressure from Front Runner as well. He's in an Alpha Tauri sandwich here. Very similar to an Italian, but not really. Battle for the lead's still unfolding. We're going to go along with them temporarily, as it looks like that battle between Kittenpetter, Capital 58, and Front Runner still heating up. No move to be made so far, so we're going to go back along with these three. Oh, and has it just separated, perhaps? I'm not quite sure. It looks like, however, JST's starting to kind of reel in Dusty here. Is Dusty starting to kind of move away from JST, either one? As I'm sure Front Runner wants to get around this Mercedes here of Capital as they go towards turns 1 and 2. The top three now within. Meeb is going to have to make a move here on Maymer. As, oh, and no, and he's picked up 3 seconds. No, and that spells disaster for the Alfa Romeo driver. Is he going to make the dive into turn 10? I really think he wanted to. But that's going to spell disaster for the Alfa Romeo, because realistically, it's not like he's pulling away from the McLaren. He does look to the inside, though, of the Alpine. He does eventually get around the Alpine there. DRS for, hey, it's Clay, looking to get around the Alpine of Maymer. However, I'm just... granted, any time that the Alpine spends in front of the McLaren here is going to help out Meeb ahead. However, that 3 seconds is going to be so crucial at the end of this race, considering there's just nothing in it between the Alfa Romeo of Meeb and hey, it's Clay for the lead. They're battling back and forth for so long. I mean, even if the Alpine is in the way here, how much of an advantage is that really going to give them? I will say it's up to a 1.5 seconds already. Clay really has to work here to get around Maymer. DRS open for Clay. Now, you know he's not really going to try anything through here. It looks like Kittenpetter's fitting the hards. Bold move there, perhaps. 1.7 seconds the gap now. This is really helping Meeb. He's got to do as much as he can to extend this lead. 1.8 now. You can assume that Clay's going to get around him here with DRS on the Alpine, which he probably will, impending Around the left side now goes the McLaren. However, that has opened up about nearly 2 seconds of gap. Clay is not going to have DRS for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, Forward, not that far behind, 4-lap old mediums. He's kind of catching this battle here. And now, see, this is the thing here. Nothing in it then may actually go to the favor of Meeb. That gap, only a tenth has been shaved off since getting around the Alpine of Mayer, and now he's actually falling off further. The gap now outside of 2 seconds rather. I didn't expect to see that. Meeb is really starting to pull the McLaren here, 2.2. I mean, Meeb has the ability now to at least make a couple mistakes and potentially get away with it. However, now, here comes EDA Forward. Wow, he really got to the back of Mayer there. Had to unbelievably back out of the position. Forward will have to take his tires. Into the pits now comes Hey It's Clay. Hey It's Clay has chickened out of the tire game here. He didn't want to make him last any longer. He's going 13 laps on the tires. Oh, he's making a wing change. Has Hey It's Clay had wing damage this whole time and we just didn't even see it? We're on the left side now. Dusty Lusky getting past Mayer, and yet Mayer has taken the tires 24 laps as Meeb has come into the pits, put on a fresh set of softs. Does he have an advantage over Hey It's Clay? He will. Mayer also getting a front wing change here. 25 laps. We knew it could be done, and it does. And now the gap to the leader is only 6.5 seconds. Now, Forward at the top. Remember, 10 laps to go here. Forward does have an advantage over Dusty behind him and Meeb for that matter, and Clay as well. All three of them have 3-second time penalties. Forward doesn't have to worry about that. But now, look at this, the gap being erased by the second here. It was about 6.5 exiting the pits. Only a handful of corners later, it's down to nearly less than 5. 5.3 the gap now. And closing. Is Meeb going to get around Dusty Lusky? DRS obviously not enabled yet. Less than 9/10 of a second now back to the Alpine ahead of him. Dusty, remember, 12-lap old medium tires. Forward, 14-lap old medium tires. The gap to the leader for Meeb onwards, less than now less than 5 seconds to the back of the Alpine of Dusty now. Can he perhaps find a move? The gap from Forward to Dusty is about 4.5. So whatever Meeb does to get around Dusty here, he's going to have to really gun it to get to EDA Forward and hope that EDA Forward perhaps makes a mistake here. Round the left side now goes EDA Meeb on Dusty Lusky. Gets the overtake done. That's about the first overtake we've seen in that section of the track this race. Very nicely done there from the Alfa Romeo driver. Remember now, still the 3-second penalty. I will say the gap, 3.5 seconds and closing. Meeb's going to have DRS. I don't think he's going to necessarily be able to make the overtake this time by, although maybe in the DRS going through Sector 2 he might be able to. Turns 13 and 14. The battery being recharged for Forward here. About 0.4 of a second made up there in one corner. To the line they go. Meeb's got making the move past Forward, and now the climb begins for Forward to either hang to the back of Meeb for at least, to be within at least 3 seconds on Meeb, as Meeb does have the penalty. Meeb on 4-lap old soft tires. Well far away from the gap from the end of the tire life there. The tires, remember, will go to about 13. Already the gap now, 0.8 of a second, now up to a second. Forward is outside of DRS, heading into turn 10, 1 lap later. 1 lap ago he had the lead, now he's 1.2 behind and counting. Although I tell you what, he sure doesn't want to pick up a penalty coming out of going through Wall of Champions. Nicky 64, can he make a move on Capital 58? It's going to be close. Maybe he can. To the left side he goes. He's looking for it. Yeah, I think he's going to make it happen. Beautiful move there from Nicky 64. He's going to come home P10. But the important thing is, at the end of it all, ADRT Meeb has not only taken advantage of the tire strategy, he has wiped the floor with the field and wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Has 6 seconds of penalties, but it doesn't matter. He's put 9 seconds in between him and EDA Forward. Forward did his best, 23 laps on the medium tires. Dusty comes home third. Clay, after having to make the wing change as well, comes home P4. But what a great race it was for that of ADRT Meeb. And I tell you what, I think you might just be seeing a lot more of this Alfa Romeo driver in the future. So after it's all said and done here in Canada, ADRT Meeb takes home the win. Forward in second, Dusty Lusky third, Hayes Clay fourth, Maymer fifth, JST sixth, picks up driver of the day as well. Seventh is frontrunner, eighth Houdini, ninth Kitten Petter, 10th Nicky 64, 11th is Hightower, 12th Capital 58, 13th is Chief Braids, 14th Sweet, 15th Adaltonian, and rounding out the field P16 and P17, not finishing the Grand Prix, Helgelin and Ray 46. Next week we head to both China, I believe it is, and Saudi Arabia for another edition of the Midwest F1 Sprint. Once again, I say, keep your eye on this ADRT Meeb. This guy might be something. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.